I was a person, cried several times to Allah, I want to kill Christians. I want to kill Jews. I want to glorify your name. You know, with my friends in the government in Iran, we planned a lot of things, evil things for Christian world, cruel things for Jewish world, deceiving plans for black world. But by the grace of God, I am here, speaking for the glory of His name. Once trying to destroy the church, but now I'm trying to establish the church of God, strengthen it, and cherish my love toward all other nations, including Muslims and Jews. I've come from the country Iran. I have got some photos to show you. How is that going to come there? From this country, from the northern part of this country, from this section, was born in a nominal Islamic family. Many Muslims are nominal, and they do not know Islam, but simply they call themselves Muslim. My parents picked me up from, amongst the 12 children of the house, because I was quicker in learning, and so they nominated me to be the religious boy in the family, and they invested in my life. I learned very quickly the Arabic, reading of it and reciting the Quran, reading the Quran in Arabic. That's not Iranian language. At the age of 9, I became famous. People even called me to their, religious ceremonies, and I recited the Quran for them. You imagine a 9-year-old boy. We learned from childhood that Christians and Jews are unclean. That's written in the Quran. We learned from the mosque and from the community, don't touch them. If you see them, don't shake hands with them, because they're unclean, and then you become unclean. You need to rush and wash yourself. Before washing yourself, don't touch any Muslim. You make them unclean too. Now, this is not unclean. That doesn't mean you haven't made, taken shower. That's unclean spiritually. They are not humankind. We also use this, especially from the area I'm coming from. People use these two words Christian and Jew, as swear words. Two Muslims fight with each other. They call each other Christian or Jew. Iranian government with Saddam's government did that 8 years. Iranian government was calling Saddam a Jew in the war, and Saddam was calling Iranian government a Jew. So that's the mindset of people. You're brainwashed from childhood that they are not humankind and they deserve to die, and you do not feel for them, unfortunately. I am coming from there, and I glorify His name, that He changed my life and my family's life. I have stories with Him. That's not my work to come to Him. He has really brought me. I have stories with Him since I was a young lad, from the year 7. I was 12 years old. My first story started with Jesus. One day in our sports hour, we were playing in the playground of the school. 7 boys got together, trying to play with each other, trying to find also a game to play with each other. One of the boys said, I know a game. He took a paper from his notebook, divided in 7, went in a corner, wrote something inside each, folded them, rolled them very well, and came to us and mixed them very well. He said, this is the game. Each one of us going to take one and open in turn. The things written inside each, he said, shows our future. So we each took one, and then we were fighting with each other who should be the first, second, third, or the last one. Some of us were fighting to be the last one, but I succeeded. I was the 7th one. We were in year 7, 7 boys. I was the 7th one, opened it. The first one opened, there was written, you'll become a teacher. We tried to make our time fun with each other, jumped, clubbed. showed excitement. The other one, you'll become a mayor. The other one, you'll become an engineer or army officer. At the end, I opened mine. There was written, you'll become a Christian. No fun anymore. I was embarrassed. I was more religious than them, full of shame, angry. My face changed. And I said, I have to go and kill this boy. I attacked him. He screamed. I said, I'm going to kill you. Why did you write this for me? He was crying. He said to me, did I write that for you? You didn't see I mixed them very well? I could have taken that. It's your problem. It's your future. You're blaming me. He was right. He didn't put in my hand. He was right. And for that reason, I didn't kill him. But I did not play with them anymore. I went and found in a corner, sat there, cried and wept. Cried to Allah, complained to him that you embarrassed me in front of this boy. So that was my first story. I finished my high school, entered university. In the university, I became a radical Muslim, followed Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah in that time was in Iraq because he was Shiite and Saddam Sunni. They didn't like each other. Saddam forced him out and he went to France. Unfortunately, France welcomed him very warmly. And Western countries, oh my goodness, you need to wake up really. Because they were going to use him as a shield in front of the Russian communism, but they didn't know that Islam doesn't let anyone to become a sincere friend with you. There are ample of verses in the Quran that said, don't become friends with Christians and Jews. So, through their help, we didn't know that. We thought that's the miracle of Allah. And through His guidance, we overthrew the most powerful king in the Middle East. And the king escaped. We captured the country. Ayatollah entered the country. In that day, I cried. With many other students, we were so excited. We said, we are going to have freedom and democracy, because Ayatollah promised us Islam, when we come there and rule the country, we will have democracy. He was lying to 70 million people. Well, Islam says, if it is necessary, you can lie to 70 billion people, to hold the world, until you get, to the power. We didn't know that zealous Muslims, young people, I was reading the Quran from the beginning to the end without understanding what Quran is saying. Because it's in Arabic. You just get the blessing when you recite it in Arabic. We were so excited. Ayatollah entered in the second week with my group. We went and welcomed him very warmly. This is the photo I have taken from him. He's sitting here. We committed ourselves to him in that day, promised him to make every single Iranian radical Muslim and to take Islam to the end of the world. After that, because I was a famous boy, I was invited with 2 others to start a revolutionary army. This is me here. Now, have you heard about the word Hezbollah? This is the word produced in Iran first. We were Hezbollah. We wanted, Hezbollah means the party of Allah, the hosts of Allah. And we were called to start a revolutionary army. The major goal of the revolutionary army was to go and capture Israel, to make Israel as a capital state for all Islamic world, and with that to attract the attention of wide spectrum Muslim in the world and say to them, you have to start from wherever you are to fight against Christians and Jews. To do that, we needed to establish our army in a country nearby. So we started Hezbollah in Lebanon. Iranian started Hezbollah there. Iranian paid now to Hezbollah. Hezbollah's boss is in Iran, Hezbollah in Lebanon. And so that was one of the major goals of this army. That again there.